All right, let's get into it, Michael Cohen. The New
Code,
York Justice Juan Merchan is not playing around. He's ordered Donald Trump to trial in the Manhattan District Attorney case on April 15th. He just issued a limited gag order against Donald Trump that we will get into. And he also issued an order warning Trump and his lawyers basically to behave themselves like professionals in his courtroom, or else there could be serious sanctions, including but not limited to contempt. All of this has happened in the past 24 to 48 hours. Also, earlier in the day, Donald Trump, bizarrely, but everything this person does is bizarre, introduced his latest grift just in time for Easter. He's now selling Bibles for the low price of $59.99. I want to go into this because it's just so bizarre. You can order it today. It's very, very strange. Cohen, I want to get your take on it. And this also, as his social media platform has gone public and the revenue's just simply not there, but it's now trading at 1,000 or even 2,000 times its revenue, which makes no sense. But I want to kind of break that down with you. We should also talk about the fact that the $175 million bond, it was reduced from $464 million in the New York Attorney General civil fraud case at the very last minute. I know that leaves both you and I in a bit of kind of questioning what in the world was this appellate division thinking or doing. I want to get into some theories there. You and I will talk about it. President Biden is pushing back hard as well against Donald Trump right now, statement after statement calling out Donald Trump's lack of manhood. I like that President Biden's doing that. Trump's weakness and weirdness. I want to get into all of those statements. And then moments before we went live, Donald Trump issued just another typo-riddled, strange, false statement that we'll talk about in a little bit. He called President Biden Joe Budden and talked about disinformates and misinformates all of the time. And we'll get into this all. This is Political Beatdown. Michael Cohen, I know you're being inundated right now with media requests given the flurry, or I should probably say blizzard of orders coming out of the Manhattan courtroom right now in the criminal case against Donald Trump, where you're a witness. The gag order just issued. The order about the way Trump and Trump's lawyers need to conduct themselves just came out. And of course, yesterday, the trial date. So we'd love to get it directly from the source. You, Michael Cohen, how you doing? What's going on?
So how am I doing? You know, my father would always say, I never complain because nobody's listening. Right? It's the same thing. You know, what's the point to complain? It's not going to change anything. One of the things that I am so thankful for in terms of Judge Merchan, and it's something that I share regularly here with our brigaders, Ben, is the fact that I am regularly under assault from a series of, obviously, the MAGA supporters. And the reason I am looking down is not to ignore our brigaders, but rather just to give you a couple of examples in terms of some of the wonderful statements that, that I get from social media. And I could not thank Judge Merchan more for doing what he did and imposing this gag order, right? So I have one guy who writes, "You're a coward. You did Trump's bidding, turned your back on him." Of course, everything is all spelled wrong. Another one says, "You're a lying sack of shit." Another one that turns and says, "You're a scumbag, asshole loser." You get a whole bunch of these. "You were nothing with him and you're nothing without him. You're a sore loser." I don't know what I'm a sore loser about. Another guy turns around and goes, "You sound so stupid with that accent and you look like a faggot." I mean, I actually have to report this guy. I mean, I just think it's certainly worth reporting. My point being, This is who MAGA is. And let's not for a split second take that out of the equation and look the opposite direction. All right. We cannot do that. Our eye has to be on the prize. And what is the prize? The prize is the retention of the White House and resuming control over the House of Representatives. Plain and simple. We'll keep the Senate, we'll keep the White House, and we need to take the House. Plain and simple. We need to be able to explain to these MAGA assholes that this sort of stuff is so unacceptable at this point in time, because you were talking about folks who are unhinged. I don't care if you're 10 years old or you're 80 years old or anywhere in between, and you're sitting in your basement, right, writing this. There is a level of hatred here that this country hasn't seen in an awfully long time. And it's on such a prevalent scale. It is our obligation. It is our duty. It is our job to one another as brigaders to ensure that we do not allow this bullshit to permeate our lives, to permeate our society, and to corrupt the next generations and the future generations after them. We need to put an end to it once and for all. And I promise you, together as a community, we talk about the Midas Touch community, we talk about our Political Beatdown community, Mea Culpa community. We put all of us together, and we will ensure a massive blue wave that will continue to show, even in these polls, which I don't have a lot of confidence in, but the polls are showing now Biden is on an increase, Trump is on a decrease.
And that's one of the most important things right here is the community aspect, as my dogs are barking right now. Michael Cohen, they're very riled up about everything that's going on. I want to share with you right now an order from Justice Juan Merchan that was issued moments ago. And this is the gag order. Let's take a look at it right here. It's ordered that the people's motion for a restriction on extrajudicial statements by the defendant is granted to the extent that the defendant, referring to Donald Trump, is directed to refrain from the following: making or directing others to make public statements about known or reasonably foreseeable witnesses concerning their potential participation in the investigation or in the criminal proceeding. And Michael Cohen, that one right there seems to refer to people just like you. B, making or directing others to make public statements about: 1, counsel in this case other than the district attorney; 2, members of the court staff and the district attorney staff; or 3, the family members of any counsel or staff member if those statements are made with the intent to materially interfere with or to cause others to materially interfere with counsel or staff's work in this criminal case, or with the knowledge that such interference is likely to result. And C, making or directing others to make public statements about any prospective juror or any juror in the criminal proceedings. So that was one order that just came down. The other order is about behavior in the courtroom, because Justice Juan Merchan was not too happy, that would be putting it lightly, with the behavior of Donald Trump's lawyers in court at the hearing yesterday, because Trump's lawyers tried to do what Donald Trump does on social media, essentially accusing the Manhattan District Attorney and accusing Justice Juan Merchan of being in a conspiracy with the Department of Justice to try to withhold documents. And Justice Juan Merchan said, those are very serious accusations to just throw around with zero evidence whatsoever, and I'm not going to stand for that in my courtroom. You come here with zero case law, zero factual record, and just innuendo to attack this court and to attack the district attorney's office, which went above and beyond its discovery obligations. I'm denying your motion to delay the trial like Trump was trying to do. We are setting trial for April 15th, come hell or high water, and this behavior will not be tolerated in my courtroom. Do you understand? And then to make that extra clear, here's the order Justice Juan Merchan issued. He said, look, The court advises counsel that it expects and welcomes zealous advocacy and creative lawyering. However, the court also expects that those advocates to demonstrate the proper respect and decorum that is owed to the courts and its judicial officers, and to never forget that they are officers of the court. As such, counsel is expected to follow this court's orders. Even a good faith belief that a court order is improper or unlawful will not render the order unlawful, nor will it excuse willful disobedience. As such, a court of record has power to punish for criminal contempt a person guilty of willful disobedience to its lawful mandate. This court emphasizes that it hopes for a full and fully expects zealous advocacy from counsel, as well as spirited contribution from witnesses and parties alike. Nonetheless, the court expects that the line between zealous advocacy and willful disregard of its orders will not be crossed. So ordered March 26th. Michael Cohen, what do you make of Justice Merchan issuing that order sua sponte on his own, sending a warning to everyone involved in this matter?
Well, what happened is he saw what was going on in the courtroom. And obviously, there's enough reporting that went on in Goron's courtroom, as well as other courtrooms. Let's not forget, this is not the first courtroom that Donald is seeing over the course of the past year or two. Judge Merchan is no nonsense, and he is not going to put up with the nonsense that Donald and his team plan to do. During that hearing the other day, they, of course, started to attack me. And as if I had anything to do with anything about these documents. In fact, as you know, because I've complained about it ad nauseum, I myself am still waiting for the 480,000 documents that the government, DOJ, including the Southern District of New York, who Judge Merchan pointed the finger at and said they should have turned over the documents to you and attorneys for Donald Trump. If you needed something, you could have made this request a year ago, all right, just as Alvin Bragg did. Whatever Bragg got from the Southern District of New York, he turned over, which is his responsibility. Merchan then, of course, attacked Todd Blanche and said very, very sternly to him, he goes, how many years are you doing this? And it's like 15 or 16 years that he was in the office, the USAO. You know how the game works. You know what you need to do. He saw right through this guise that they were putting in this very late request in order to try to delay this trial. I applaud Judge Merchan in his decision to give them the 3 weeks, even though they didn't even need the 3 weeks. There's less than 250 so documents that they now have that they did not have before, none of which are exculpatory. In fact, from what I understand, I haven't seen any of them. They're all inculpatory, and most of the documents are actually duplicative, right? So I don't understand what was the point, but good for Judge Merchan, but even better. You know, I have complained to our brigaders about the ongoing constant attacks that I get, whether it's social media. I literally had to get rid of my phone, my house line. Not that I needed it. Right? The only ones that called were either my mother or my wife's, parents. Either my parents or her parents. We never, or it would be like these, fake telecom companies that are calling you for nonsense. But I got rid of it because at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, these MAGAs somehow got a hold of my phone number, and they would call it all hours of the day and worse, all hours of the night. This is just the beginning of the campaign that they do. They attack the judge. They attack judges' law secretaries. They attack members of the judge's family, like they were attacking, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Judge Merchan's daughter. The hell is that about? Right? How would Trump like if they attacked his family? How would any of these people, these MAGA morons, How would they like if we started attacking members of their families? They wouldn't. All right. No one deserves to have to do this. I did not ask, Ben. I did not ask to be a witness in this case. All right. I am subpoenaed to be a witness in this case. Plain and simple. If I didn't have to be, I would not be. And I don't want to be, but I have no choice. I also refuse to allow Donald Trump not to face accountability. It is imperative that he faces accountability because it goes right back to the whole notion of what we keep saying. There's supposed to be only one set of laws in this country, not two, and certainly as it relates to Trump, three. The ones for all of us, the ones for the rich and powerful, and then somehow along the line, Donald ends up having his own set of laws that apply only to him, including this appellate court's decision to reduce the $464 million to $175. I don't get it. If it was you, Ben, if it was me, for sure, if it was any of our brigaders, they would have already seized your bank accounts and they would have seized your home and your car and everything else that you have. But him?
Yeah, because look, Donald Trump was found liable for a fraud judgment by New York Justice Arthur Engoron for the amount of $464 million. If he wanted to go and sell the assets, I mean, Trump claims he is a billionaire. He's got all of this money. Why is the appellate division bending over backwards to try to help him? And that's what they did. A lot of people were like, well, y'all didn't tell us that there was this hearing taking place, because there wasn't a hearing that took place. The appellate division on their own read the papers, and right before the deadline, like minutes before the deadline, they issued an order and they said that they wanted to be $175 million. They didn't give an explanation about why it's $175 million. I've heard theories, and there are people say, well, look, at the end of this day, the New York courts are known for being kind of pro-business in general. And this could actually be helpful to New York Attorney General Letitia James, because at the very least, there'll be $175 million that's placed in an account, so she doesn't have to go and kind of find all of the assets. So it'll allow for kind of an orderly disposition.
If I can, I got to jump in on that one. When I was on Jen Psaki's program last night, I had turned around and I had said, if Tish James is concerned about how to find that $500 million, pick up the phone like you did when you wanted me to testify. Give me a call. I will lay the whole thing out for you in terms of which of the assets that we can go after immediately. I could, within 30 days, I can have more than 250 of that $500 million already done. And I can go after everything else there. I know the assets. I know which one's the least. I know who's partners in what. I know who would end up buying what asset from other folks that I know in the industry here in New York or around the country. I can liquidate his entire fucking estate in under 6 months. I can actually assist them in terms of showing them how to operate. Like, for example, right, there are several floors at Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue that are leased to the Trump organization. I would go there, I put a fucking padlock on the doors and say, the only way that you get those padlocks taken off, I need the rent check and I need 1 month in security. All right. Treat him like he's a tenant. And I do the same thing with his primary residence. I would go after all of the commercial asset properties that he has, the restaurants. I would go after the parking lots. I would go after all of it. And I know all the assets, and I know all the properties, and I know all the players. So I said, just give me a call. I'll show you how to do it.
Cohen, I want to show you some moments from this press conference that Trump had at 40 Wall Street after Justice Merchan set trial for April 15th. Here in this first clip I'm going to show you, Donald Trump says, at most what he did is a misdemeanor. Here, let's play this clip.
That's not even a crime. We're being tried for something that's not even a crime. They say at most it's a misdemeanor, but there's no misdemeanor either.
Then he's asked if he would ever accept foreign money to help pay the bond, which he still owes, and he doesn't deny it. He's like, maybe. Here, play this clip.
Would you ever accept money from a foreign government to pay the bond or your fines or?
No, I don't do that. I think you'd be allowed to, possibly. I don't know. I mean, if you go borrow from a big bank, many of the banks are outside of this. As you know, the biggest banks, frankly, are outside of our country. So you could do that, but I don't need to borrow money. I have a lot of money. I built a great company, but I don't want to have a crooked judge named Engoron and a crooked, horrible, the worst, I would say without question, Attorney General in the country, the most.
He then goes on to say that you can't have an election in the middle of a political season, in another cognitive glitch. This clip.
Done before in this country. You can't have an election in the middle of a political season. We just had Super Tuesday, and we had a Tuesday after Tuesday already, and we had Louisiana the other day, a couple of days ago, and we won in a record number, the highest number ever recorded. But we're in the middle of an election right now, and we're fighting.
Then he talks about bringing back crime. Let me play this for you. Let's play this clip.
And we'll bring crime back to law and order. We're going to get those words law and order back because our cities are a disaster. Great.
Dude, he's like Rocky, when he's all punchy, in the Rocky 1. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous. And then he's going to start telling you, and tomorrow, the sun will rise during the daytime, followed by periods of darkness as evening ensues. And the same might possibly, in Louisiana, in Texas, in Oklahoma, and California, it'll probably ensue for the rest of your life. I mean, he babbles bullshit, and people just sit there and they stare at him. Why doesn't somebody interrupt him and yell out to him, no, you don't want to bring back crime, Mr. Former Presidente. You don't want to bring back crime. We want to fight crime, and we want to ensure that crime does not come back, Mr. Law and Order, the guy who wanted to defund the police, the guy who shits all over our military and law enforcement, right? You have no idea what you're saying. Did you make a verbal mistake? And maybe you would like to correct yourself, Mr. Former Presidente?
Cohen, at the same time, he's saying, I have all of this money. I've got all of this money. We'll talk about this in a little bit, but just in time for Easter, Trump is rolling out a new product that he's selling for $59.99. He's selling what's called the Trump Bibles at GodBlessTheUSBible.com, and it combines the King James Bible with portions of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence all in one. There's a warning about sticky pages. The pages may be actually very sticky. And then it claims that Trump isn't getting the money, but when you look at it, it's a licensing deal between the Bible maker and one of Trump's LLCs, CIC Ventures LLC. I want to take a deep dive with you, into that, because this is just so embarrassing for our country. And I know one of the things that you wanted to do as well, and I want to tell all of our brigaders right now, is with all of this breaking news, you were like, Ben, we're doing a Zoom after show. I want to meet all of the brigaders again. We had a great time. 30 minutes, rapid fire. Let's go.
We have a lot to go. Hey, Ben, can I just make another funny sort of statement, which unfortunately happens to be true? I mean, it would be better if it wasn't true, but it is sort of funny. For a billionaire, this guy begs for money more than the homeless guys over at Grand Central Station. I've never seen anything like it. This is no different than Trump steaks. This is no different than Trump vodka, than Trump mortgage, Trump University, right? Trump Baja Mexico, California, or any of the other. Trump clothing, Trump ties, Trump this, Trump that. I mean, what he does is he goes ahead, he sticks his name, his face, his likeness, his image, whatever, on anything, the NFTs, to make a buck, but it is all licensing deals It's not, it's people come to him and say, hey, Donald, then I'm pretty sure I know who it is. There was a Bible guy, right?
Cohen, I want to get into it. I gotta take the ad break. I want you to tell this. I want to tease this until after the ad break. And if people want to meet Michael Cohen, go to patreon.com/political beatdown. Sign up as soon as the episode ends at 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific. You'll get the secret link, which is just on our Patreon. You'll click the link. You'll hear from Michael Cohen. Cohen, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but our producers are saying, Ben, we need to throw to our first ad break.
Guys, let's do it. Let's take it. Let's take it to the video.
Perfect.
I've tried so many different things to maintain a heart-healthy lifestyle, like crash course diets and starting daunting cardio routine. And frankly, it just hasn't been helpful for me. Now, we often think living a more heart-healthy life means making big, unsustainable changes. But with Superbeats, and you all know how much I love Superbeats. I talk about it all the time. With Superbeat Heart Chews, you can get daily blood pressure support in just 2 tasty chews a day. And they even promote heart-healthy energy without the stimulants. Paired with a healthy lifestyle, the antioxidants in Superbeats are clinically shown to be nearly 2 times more effective at promoting normal blood pressure than a healthy lifestyle alone. And trust me, I need normal blood pressure. Heart health is important for me because I want to be around as long as possible for my loved ones. Superbeat Heart Chew give me the peace of mind that I'm doing the right thing and doing something good for myself every day. I take Superbeat Heart Chews every morning, and after taking them, I feel like I have more energy to take on the day. Superbeats Heart Chews are a convenient way to support healthy blood pressure. No pills to swallow, no ingredients to mix and prepare. It's plant-based and no artificial sweeteners or colors. I cannot recommend Superbeat Heart Chews enough for our listeners. Again, I love them. So double your potential with Superbeats Heart Chews and get a free month supply of Superbeats Heart Chews on all bundles. And get a load of this, a free full-size bag of turmeric chews valued at $25 with your order by going to beatdownbeats.com. That's BeatDownBeets.com. Get this exclusive offer only at beatdownbeats.com and have yours today. What if you could support small family farmers and reduce your environmental imprint, all while enjoying the highest quality meat on earth? When you join the Moink movement, well, you can. Moink delivers grass-fed and grass-finished beef and lamb, pastured pork and chicken, and sustainable wild-caught Alaskan salmon straight to your door. Moink farmers farm like our grandparents did, and as a result, Moink meats taste like it should, because the family farm does it better, and the Moink difference is a difference that you can taste. Unlike the supermarket, Moink gives you total control over the quality and the source of your food. You choose the meat delivered in every box, like ribeyes to chicken breast to pork chops to salmon fillets and much, much more. Plus, you can cancel anytime. Moink is helping save rural America. You see, I love it, and you will too. So join the Moink movement today. And their bacon is by far the best bacon that I've ever had. Shark Tank host Kevin O'Leary called Moink's bacon the best bacon he's ever tasted. And Ring Doorbell founder Jamie Siminoff, well, he jumped at the chance to invest in Moink. Plus, they guarantee that you'll say, oink, oink, I'm just so happy I got Moink. I know I do, and you will too. So keep American farming going by signing up at moinkbox.com/beatdown right now. And listeners of this show get free bacon. Listen to this. They get free bacon for a year. That's 1 year of the best bacon you'll ever taste, but it's for a limited time. And it's spelled MOINK box.com/beatdown. That's moinkbox.com/beatdown. Go there now.
Cohen, those were really good ad reads.
Oh, thank you very much. You know, my blood pressure's up from both, considering one of them, gets me really heart chews, right? And the bacon isn't really good for me either, but they do have good bacon, man.
No, their food's great there. And I spoke with the co-founder. We did a whole interview, or what? Not the co-founder, the founder. And she was an 8th generation farmer, and we posted a video here where we just talked about kind of common sense solutions for farmers. And I thought it was very captivating, and it just shows you that we do cover a lot here on the Midas Touch Network. And so the Moink owner and I talked about how we don't label where beef comes from. So, with your shirts and your clothes, you always know made in America. But when it comes to the meat that you eat, things you put in your body, you don't know where in the world it comes from. So she just said to me, hey, why don't we just do a super simple bipartisan solution, and let's just label where the meat is coming from so people can know. Is this made on an American farm? Is this coming from China? Is this coming from someplace else? And people can really get the data that they need. So I wanted to give a shout out there as well. Cohen, where we last left off, I was kind of teasing this promo video that Donald Trump made today, where he is selling Bibles now for $59.99. Let me share with you, he did a long video on this announcement today. We kind of edited it. Just if you want to watch the full video, you can do that, but I'll spare you the full 3 minutes of it. Let me show you the lowlights of it though right here. Then I want to get your reaction, Cohen. Here, let's play this video of Trump.
I'm proud to be partnering with my very good friend Lee Greenwood, who doesn't love his song God Bless the USA, in connection with promoting the God Bless the USA Bible. What can we do? Stand up, speak out, and pray that God will bless America again. I'm proud to endorse and encourage you to get this Bible. We must make America pray again. And I think you all should get a copy of God Bless the USA Bible now and help spread our Christian values with others. There you have it.
I mean, there's nobody with more Christian values than Donald Trump. I mean, Donald holding a Bible is like, it's like somebody with, diabetes, in a candy store. It's just, he just doesn't belong holding a Bible. And I'm just waiting for him to turn around and say, but wait, there's more. If you buy now, you're going to get, for a limited time only, the Jesus touching the hair of Donald Trump, right? I mean, this guy has no shame. He has no religious conviction at all. And I'm never one to turn around and to talk about anybody and their religious conviction or what have you. If you are, say, Orthodox, great. If you are conservative, if you're Reform, whatever your religion is, whatever level, that's good for you. You do you, I'll do me, and let everybody, do each other, right? I mean, Donald, on the other hand, I'm telling you, has zero religious conviction. The only photo we were able to find of him was the one that you constantly see when he's like 9 years old. That was at, I forget the name of Vincent Norman Peale at the church. His parents took him there for, I forget what the event was, but that's the one time and one time only. He has absolutely zero religious conviction. It's wonderful, when you have somebody who wants to feign religion for $59.99. It's almost as ridiculous as my minister card that I got for about $10.99 that you could do online, and I did it because I was going to marry a friend of mine. And actually, this makes you legal to become a minister, right, through a non-denominational church. But Donald holding a Bible is just it's a sight. It's a sight for all of us to see. It just goes to show you, he is a true red con man to the nth degree, right to the core.
You go on the website where he's selling these Bibles, and I did it so y'all don't have to go. It says, what if my Bible had, there it is right there, order today. Then there's a frequently asked questions section. What if my Bible has sticky pages? Are some of the pages in your Bibles sticking together? No worries. This is very common with new Bibles that have gold gilding around the edges of the paper. For your convenience, we have provided links to a YouTube video that does a wonderful job of explaining how to break your new Bible in. Is this Bible officially endorsed by President Trump? Yes, this is the only Bible endorsed by President Trump. Is any of the money from this Bible going to the Donald J. Trump campaign for president? No. God Bless the USA Bible is not political. It has nothing to do with any political campaign. God Bless the USA Bible.com is not owned, managed, or controlled by Donald J. Trump, the Trump Organization, CIC Ventures LLC, or any of their respective principals or affiliates. God Bless the USA Bible.com uses Donald J. Trump's name, image, and likeness under paid license from CIC Ventures LLC, which license may be terminated or revoked according to its terms. Oh, well, who owns CIC Ventures LLC? Well, we know from the financial disclosures. Donald Trump is the owner of CIC Ventures LLC. That's the company that lent out his name, image, and likeness for a significant fee for those NFTs, for those gold sneakers. So, I mean, trying to act like he's not involved in a financial relationship when he has a license to make money off of this, to endorse this Bible that's being sold, and to act like this is not a money-making thing for him when it clearly is. I mean, is Donald Trump, vintage snake oil salesman, a person who sells these NFTs, which are not even original images of like him in a cowboy hat, him as like a motorcycle rider, him on the moon. I mean, you got some really weird things here. And what I like though is that President Biden's really kind of pushing back at some of the stuff, like, because this stuff is just weird. Like, could you imagine for a second if President Biden did any of these things? Like, I would be like, this person, what is this person even doing? Like, what Trump's doing there is not a conservative thing. Like, it's just weird. Like, it's really weird, greedy, selfish, predatory behavior. So like when Donald Trump bragged about winning his own golf tournament at his own golf club, and then he had his own golf club like wish him congratulations. Joe Biden responded, President Biden responded, congratulations, Donald. Quite the accomplishment there. And with respect to the press conference that I just showed, Cohen, the Biden-Harris campaign responded as follows. Donald Trump is weak and desperate, both as a man and as a candidate for president. He spent the weekend golfing, the morning comparing himself to Jesus, and the afternoon lying about having money he definitely doesn't have. His campaign can't raise money. He's uninterested in campaigning outside his country club. And every time he opens his mouth, he pushes moderate and suburban voters away with his dangerous agenda. America deserves better than this feeble, confused, and tired Donald Trump. What do you make of this, Michael Cohen?
Well, listen, where did Biden say anything wrong? First of all, it wasn't just one tournament that Donald won at his own club. It was both. He won the club championship and he won the senior club championship. So I want you to turn around and to think about something for a second. How great must it have been to be right there at the awards ceremony? I would like to congratulate myself for winning my tournament at my golf club. But not only did I win the senior tournament, but I won the overall country club tournament. And I, again, would like to thank myself and I would like to congratulate myself for this, once again, annual spectacular win, considering of all of the names that, as you can see on the winners board, I occupy 82% of the club championship. Then, of course, you go out and you watch him tee off, and you watch him tee off right into the fucking lake, right into the drink, and so on. Mulligan, right? I mean, it is truly amazing. Anybody that plays with him, right, will tell you that you have to let him win. If not, he just makes your life absolutely miserable. He will come. You could be sitting there with your family at the club having a nice lunch. And if by chance you beat him on the 18, he will actually come there and he will just rip into you in front of your family. Now, he'll do it in a sarcastic, sort of jocular type of way, but you know damn well that he means every single word that he's saying. And that's why people are like, listen, I'll make it all the way to the finals, and whatever it is, I'll stay close, and then I'm just going to let him pull ahead, which is why if you ever look at the scores, he's always winning by 1 to 2 strokes. It's really fascinating that you have to kowtow to the guy who you paid money, a bond, to be a member there, and that you pay for him to live there and to have all of the things that he has. It's really an amazing thing that people allow him to get away with it. It just goes to show you, if he figured out how to fool these people and then just do it on a massive scale to fool America, or at least the fools of America that we refer to as maggots.
You know, I see a lot of people in the comments saying, I just don't even recognize this part of the country anymore. Like, what in the world is happening? And I just think sometimes we have to reflect upon that. Like, if you and I were hosting a show and we were like WWE broadcasters and we were talking about the malignant narcissistic character who like posts things in capital letters every day and acts like a maniac and gets on stage and talks about how they'd rather be electrocuted, as Trump says, than eaten by sharks. And then, just says all of this kind of strange and deranged stuff. And then goes, and now I want to praise the J6ers, the hostages. Let's change the anthem. And then it's like, boo, and people are like, this is like the bad guy in some dystopian WWE fascist novel or something. But like, this is our politics. There was once a time where someone who spelled potato wrong, you'd be out of politics. There would be another moment where, if you went woohoo the wrong way, people would be like, that's
what are you talking about? They went after what's it name for eating his pizza with a fork and knife, right?
Yeah.
That it's not the way that we eat pizza, fork and knife. You have to hold it and so on. But this ass clown manages to get away with it. Could you imagine, Ben, if you turn around and decided to create an award like what's the award for like the newscasters and the television? Not the Emmys. What is that? I forget. What's that?
With Pulitzer?
No. Like an Emmys or the Oscars, they have that for for the news and stuff like that, for television shows, whatever. Could you imagine if you host the
Midas Medal of Honor?
No, the MTN Awards, and you give it to yourself as being the best host on the Midas Touch Network. I mean, wouldn't people make fun of you? Do you think that you would have anybody following the network? The answer is they would say, there's something mentally wrong with you when you have to honor yourself with a fake award, right? That's exactly what Trump is doing. And yet it makes the news. And he's so proud to hold up, this glass trophy, this, acknowledging his absolutely fantastic. By the way, here's the best part of it all. If you look up how many hole-in-ones that Donald Trump has, he should be in the Guinness Book of World Records. In fact, he wanted to get into the Guinness Book of World Records. The problem is they weren't able to validate all of the claims that he made on each and every one. It's like 21 hole-in-ones. I mean, it's statistically impossible, right? You have guys who are professional golfers, like a Tiger Woods, who I think has 8 or something like that. Trump has, of course, 21. It is so stupid, and yet we allow this moron to get away with it. And why? I truly don't know. It's almost like we're laughing at it. This is like reality television funny, but it's not funny. It's part of this sick pattern of validating all of his bullshit. We have to put an end to that.
Well, the Republican Party has now gone full MAGA. They've embraced this. They've let this in. And the thing that I always want to remind people is that is not conservatism. That's not what a Republican Party should be about. You and I always talk about how we actually welcome into the debate real Republicans, real conservatives. Let's have real conversations. There's some great ideas there that I think there could be great compromises. But this MAGA stuff is wannabe fascism. It's also very, very weird and very incompetent. When we get back talking about that, I want to share with you a post that Donald Trump just made, which is just straight up gibberish, like just a bunch of gibberish. I want to share that. I've got some other clips of the clip of Donald Trump actually golfing I want to share with you. And I want to show you, there's a lot more I want to talk about. And I want to remind everybody that as soon as this show ends, Michael Cohen would like to meet you. So you go to patreon.com/political beatdown. We've got our secret Zoom link right there. You sign up now. We look forward to meeting you as soon as this show ends. We'll do 30 minutes rapid fire questions. You can meet Michael Cohen directly if you ever wanted to do that. It was the Peabody Awards, by the way. Thank you to our brigaders for letting us know that. We'll take our last quick break of the show.
Did you know that your temperature at night can have one of the greatest impacts on your sleep quality? Look, I know about sleep quality because I'm sleep deprived. But if you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend that you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. It's inspired by NASA. Miracle Made uses silver-infused fabrics and makes temperature-regulating bedding so that you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. Using silver-infused fabrics inspired by NASA, Miracle Made sheets are thermoregulating and they're designed to keep you at the perfect temperature all night long, so you get better sleep every night. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. I mean, no more gross odors. You see, Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands. And they feel as nice, if not nicer than sheets used by some 5-star hotels. Stop sleeping on bacteria. Bacteria can clog your pores, causing breakouts and worse, acne. So sleep clean with Miracle. Go to trymiracle.com/beat and try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo BEAT, that's BEAT, at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, well, you'll get a full refund. So upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/beat and use the code BEAT to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40%. Again, that's trymiracle.com/beat to treat yourself. And thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode.
Welcome back. We are live.
That's a 3 for 3 Cohen ad read today.
I mean, when you do the ad reads, it's absolute best. And thank you, by the way, to our pro-democracy sponsors. I know you and Jordy vet our sponsors, and we're very fortunate to have these companies with great products that support our work here.
And hence the beautiful skin.
I mean,
no breakouts, no acne.
Cohen, man. No,
At my age, I'm thankful I have skin.
That goes without saying right there. All right, let's do a little pre-Patreon rapid fire. I'm going to show you a few things. I want to get your reaction to it, okay? So we could tease what it's like at patreon.com/political beatdown, except you can do it in a Zoom chat with Michael Cohen. All right, let me show you Donald Trump actually playing golf right here. Let's play this clip.
Oh, he shanked it. Oh my God, I got that on video.
Response.
Listen, he won the club championship like I won the U.S. Open. Next.
Kimberly Guilfoyle. Here she is over the weekend with
Can
Donald
we
Trump.
refer to her by her proper name? It's Kimberly Gargoyle.
Let's post the photo right here. Do we have the photo? There's Kimberly Guilfoyle at the event with Donald Trump. Michael Cohen, your response.
Listen, she is exactly who she purports to be. She really holds no punches on who she is. She, Lara Trump, that they're all competing with one another in order to be, the flavor of the day. I mean, there's nothing to say about her. She's as pathetic as they come. Both these women are as pathetic as the guys that they're with.
Speaking of which, I want to get your reaction to this. Rapid fire. We're in the fourth quarter of Political Beatdown. Here's Don Jr. from earlier this week. Let's play this clip.
Right, sorry. The political persecution of their enemies. Isn't that the entire thesis of their case? $1 million bond arbitrarily put on by Judge Engoron because we made profits, and therefore those profits and anything that came from it afterwards have to be slashed and paid for in full. And even liberal law professors are saying, minor details like that, I don't know the exact details. I don't remember them anymore because it was so ridiculous and so unfounded. But, the border isn't a real issue, folks. It's Republican drama, yada, yada, yada. It's the Republicans' fault, even though... Watch this. All right. We're having a little trouble pulling up the video. Give them another $20 billion. I mean, we're sending another 60 to Ukraine. Who cares? Just another $20 billion. Can we give it to Mexico and these other countries that'll get, passed? Probably the same policies. I imagine they're public companies. I imagine they have the same sort of globalist pressure on the nonsense. And the people that are actually the dependents of these funds into smithereens. This is a clown show, people.
Cohen.
Cocaine is a bitch. There's nothing else to say. I mean, you're right. He's either high or he's drunk. I mean, it's the stupidest rambling. I'll tell you, his rambling drives his father crazy. His father would throw him out when he would start, and he would actually do things. Yes, this is just absolutely, and it's 20 billion. Even liberal judges are saying it's not true, Don. No, you're making it up. You're trying to be like Dad. And the funny thing is, when I first met Don, years and years, even before working for the Trump organization, he used to always say, I don't want to be anything like my father. I don't want to be anything like him at all. I want to have my kids. I want to be able to go with them and play in the park. At that point in time, when he was married to Vanessa, he was completely under control. She really ran the show, and she ran a tight ship. I know her for a long time, and she's fantastic. And then when he decided, to have the affairs, and he decided to divorce and blah, 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 and now he's with Kimberly Gargoyle. This is the byproduct of what you get when you end up with somebody like a Kimberly Gargoyle.
Well, I'll just give the disclaimer that there is no knowledge whether or not he was actually high or on drugs during the recording of that video.
And I will say that as well. I am not saying that he is. I'm saying cocaine is a bitch. This is not normal behavior. All right.
Yeah, I'm saying it in a hyperbolic way.
Yes.
And of course, that's certainly consistent, though, with, there's something going on that looks wrong there in our opinion. But, as I reflected on more of what was going on in the golf courses, as Trump wants to talk more and more about the golf. Here's something that I think is important to note when we talk about the golf course. Like the other weird things that he just does on his golf course, like he buried Ivana in the golf course. You recall the story when the Daily Mail? I
do, and that way he can get he could change the tax base and declare part of the 500 acre property there in Bedminster a cemetery.
It's just so utterly ghoulish, though, that like you bury your first wife, Ivana, in the back area of a golf course. And then as you see,
especially when the whole family is living in Florida now.
Yeah. And then, when the Daily Mail wrote this story, basically the area where Ivana was buried fell into disrepair, and there was all the grass over it. I mean, again, just so utterly kind of ghoulish right there. And then I think Jeremy and Salty, do we have this one before the Super Bowl where Donald Trump brought in a bunch of young girls before the Super Bowl to dance in front of him? Here, play this clip. It's just so hot. Play it. And finally, I want to read.
Is it me, or when Donald does that dance with his hands like that, doesn't it sort of like remind you like he's jerking off two giraffes? I mean, there's something wrong with him. I mean, if you can't dance, how about don't? It's just that simple. But these moves that he have, you're like, what the fuck is right? Yeah, listen, you know what? As we're coming to the end, hey, Donald, today you get for being the fucking douchebag, bullshit, Bible-toting, golf championship winning scumbag, burying your ex-wife in the fucking marshes of your golf club. You get the two-finger salute. There's nobody this week that probably deserves it more than you. All right? And for all of the constant attacks on judges and witnesses and everybody else, yeah, fuck you.
And then, speaking of that, I mean that giraffe imagery's. I'm gonna have to deal with that after the show on some personal time to It's a tough image that I need to get out of my mind.
Every time you see him doing that, you're gonna think of me now.
And it may make me want to puke, but look, at the same time, Trump is doing that. Here's what he's posting as well. He goes, "I'm not running to terminate the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, as crooked Joe Budden disinformates and misinformates all the time." And then, look, the bottom line is he posted this. This is what Trump posted. Remember back on November 25th, 2023, the cost of Obamacare is out of control. Plus, it's not good health care. I'm seriously looking at alternatives. We had a couple of Republican senators who campaigned for 6 years against it and then raised their hands not to terminate it. It was a low point for the Republican Party, but we should never give up. I mean, there he's referring to terminating it.
He's referring to John McCain. And let me be very clear about something. There is no lower point in the Republican Party than when Donald Trump gets the nomination.
And right here, this is when Trump was disgracing the office, where he just outright called for terminating Obama. He said these are his words. Here, let's just play. Do we have this video though? There's a video of him as well. If we have it, let's play it.
But what we are doing is we want to terminate health care under Obamacare because it's bad.
And so stop with the gaslighting of us. These are your words. These aren't hoaxes. These are the things that you say. And the healthcare, the lives of tens of millions and hundreds of millions of Americans are on the line. This is serious stuff. You and I like to have a good time and add some levity to all of this, but underneath this all, it's important to reflect that this is truly a matter of life or death for you watching this, for Americans.
What is there, over 30 million, or the over 30 million Americans that now have
even more than that.
Insurance pursuant and thanks to the Affordable Care Act? You see, this is the problem with somebody like Don. I want to be serious about something for just a brief moment. This is the entire problem that the Republican Party has to put up with. When Donald Trump says something which is as stupid as trying to now terminate the Affordable Care Act, if you're going to make a claim that the Affordable Care Act is too expensive for America, right? That it doesn't work, it's not what it is purported to be, okay, you have your right to your opinion, and I will never say that you don't. But what's the alternative? Put forth a plan on what you would replace it with. Don't just say we're going to terminate it, it's bad, it's no good, and then you don't offer a legitimate opportunity or an option to replace it that experts, not you, Donald, but I'm talking about real experts that know what they're talking about, can look at it and say, you know what? That's a good plan. That's a good plan. If we replace the ACA with the XYZ, this could save America money. It would provide better benefits, blah, 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 whatever else. And you know what? The guy did good, but he doesn't care if you have insurance. He doesn't care if you don't get medical attention. You know why? Because he has insurance. He doesn't give a shit about any one of us or anything other than himself. And he will tear systems down without having alternatives or options that, to replace what it is that he's destroying. He just wants to destroy. He wants to rip things apart. And again, for that, Donald, enough.
Well, Michael Cohen, let's go do our after show right now. If you want to meet Michael Cohen, go to patreon.com/political beatdown. Make sure you subscribe right now. It'll take us about 2 minutes before we sign on because we have to sign off here, then sign on the Zoom. We'll do 30 minutes of rapid fire questions in the chat. We're so thrilled and excited to see you all. Patreon.com/political beatdown. Meet Michael Cohen right now. Thank you.
Please
Thank you all for watching.
As well. Go subscribe as well to the Mea Culpa podcast on our Midas Touch network. There you go with the blue background. I can't tell you the number of people that keep texting me. Why is it not working? Because that's the red one. We don't go with red. We go with blue. We go with Democrat blue, not Republican red. So always remember the blue background icon.
Love it. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next time on Political Beatdown. Shout out to the Brigaders and shout out to the Midas Mighty. See you on Patreon, everybody.